This is Oklahoma's own News on 6.
The road to the White House comes through Tulsa again, this time with presidential hopeful Mike Bloomberg. We're hearing new reaction about the economic mobility plan he laid out today. The Democratic contender made a point of unveiling the plan in Tulsa's historic Greenwood District. And that's where we find News on 6's Eric Payne live tonight for us. Eric?
Amy, Bloomberg calls this plan the Greenwood Initiative. He says it's focused on helping overlooked communities of color prosper, just like Black Wall Street did here a century ago.
What happened here in Tulsa demonstrates, I think, in incredibly stark relief the violent destruction of a prosperous black community and the enormous obstacles that so many black Americans have faced, not only in creating wealth, but in passing assets to their children and grandchildren, as generations of white families have done, thereby creating wealth.
He's referring to the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, the reason he came to Green Country today. Presidential candidate Bloomberg says the challenges of African-American wealth creation is directly linked to racial injustices in the past. He says breaking that link would be a centerpiece of his presidency if elected. Bloomberg is one of a dozen candidates still in the race for the White House, just weeks away from the Iowa caucuses. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders visited Oklahoma last year. Former candidates Beto O'Rourke and Cory Booker made stops in Tulsa. Those visits give Tulsans like Charles Townsend a chance to see the presidential hopefuls firsthand, who says he was impressed.
Pretty direct, pretty simple, pretty to the point, and very convincing and sincere.
Bloomberg's plan has three main goals: help 1 million more black families buy a house to counteract effects of redlining and the mortgage crisis, double the number of black-owned businesses, and help black families triple their wealth over the next 10 years to reduce the wealth gap. Bloomberg says he would do this through government programs and regulations.
But I believe that this is a country where anything is possible. And I believe that we have the power to build a future where color and capital are no longer related. That is the future I want to leave my grandchildren. And that is the future that I will work for, will build as president.
The Iowa caucuses are just a couple of weeks away here in Oklahoma. We have to wait a little bit longer, though. We vote in March. Amy?
Eric, you've covered several candidates who have made their way to Tulsa. Tell us, how does this campaign stop differ from the others?
So, Amy, this campaign event was pretty organized compared to the other ones that I've covered, and also the plan was very heavy on the details. I was actually listening and talking to some of the people who came here and listened to this speech afterwards, and they were surprised because they felt that this was more substance over sound bites. Amy?
All right, thank you, Eric. And some of Tulsa's leaders are reacting to Mike Bloomberg's Greenwood Initiative. Many were at the campaign speech today, including former and current state leaders. State Senator Kevin Matthews spoke today, saying Bloomberg used his philanthropy to honor the memory of Tulsa's race massacre.
I call that man a doer, a uniter, and a man that gets big things done. Instead of hate, criticism, and intimidation, we need more leaders willing to walk the walk and not just talk the talk.